Let's get you updates from the other war. Russia is stepping up its missile strikes and advancing through eastern Ukraine. Moscow's intensified attacks are prompting a pivotal decision by the US whether to approve the use of long-range missiles for Ukraine. Our next story explains how this move could alter the war's trajectory and also risk a major escalation.
The Russian military is advancing in eastern Ukraine. Russian fighter jets are dropping these 3-ton glide bombs, smashing Kyiv's frontline troops and nearby cities. Russian missiles are also raining death and destruction. Kyiv's Kursk incursion has seemingly failed to soften the Russian assault. Amid this rising tension, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy are in Kyiv holding talks with Ukrainian leaders. At the heart of the discussion is Ukraine's urgent request for advanced weapons like the US-made ATACMS capable of striking targets up to 300 kilometers away. Ukraine also has Storm Shadow missiles donated by the British, which have a range of about 250 kilometers. So far, they've only been used against Russian targets in occupied Ukrainian territory. Kyiv argues that these long-range missiles are essential to neutralize Russian air bases, which have been launching deadly attacks on Ukrainian positions. The Biden administration is walking a tightrope between support for Ukraine and fear of wider conflict as it inches closer to a momentous decision. UK Prime Minister Starmer is scheduled to meet President Biden to take a decision on removing the curbs on Kyiv.
Will you lift restrictions on the use of long-range weapons by Ukraine?
We're working that out right now.
The provision of long-range missiles to Ukraine could have far-reaching consequences. Moscow warns it could lead to a significant escalation of the conflict, potentially drawing NATO countries into a direct confrontation with Russia. Listen in to President Putin's ominous warning.
The US is essentially provoking an arms race, disregarding the security of its European and Asian allies, creating the preconditions for a dangerous crisis situation in Europe and the Asia-Pacific region. I want to emphasize that Russia must be prepared for any development of the situation.
The stakes couldn't be higher. NATO's accusations of Iranian short-range ballistic missile supplies to Russia adds another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. US says that Iranian missiles would give Russia more firepower to pummel Ukraine. Tehran has repeatedly denied the accusations of supplying weapons to Russia. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
And to get us some insights, we sat down with retired Lieutenant Colonel Daniel L. Davis for his insights. Listen in to what he had to say.
Well, I mean, we just saw the largest Ukrainian wave of drones into Russia in the war just a few days ago with 147 or 144, depending on who you ask, drones that went into Russia. But nearly all of them were shot down. Only a handful actually hit anything. And really there was no militarily significant targets even attacked, as you saw that big famous picture of the high-rise apartment building in Moscow being hit with one of the drones, actually a couple of them. So in terms of military efficiency, it does absolutely nothing. I understand from some of the claims of the Western and Ukraine side that they want to, quote, bring the war to the Russians and make them realize this is real. But I'm not sure what that's supposed to accomplish on the ground in the war, because so far the only reaction has been that it makes Russia madder and makes the people more willing to support war and actually pushing Putin further to take harsher action against the Ukraine. So from a military perspective, I'm not sure what they're intending to accomplish, but it doesn't seem to be working.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.